hurt the majority of last year. Getting those guys back in a situation where they can compete and see how hard they can compete at a high level. So, you know, obviously, when you go up against good competition, it helps you. So we have a good indication of how competitive we can be. We have a good indication of the guys that are new, how they're going to respond under the fire. So it was good for us in that regard.
So were you happy with what you saw from those dudes?
Very happy, very happy, very happy.
Where does Keenan stand as far as getting bigger? I think you talked about that in the offseason. Do you want to see him?
Well, physically, I think they've all made big strides in terms of their strength, their conditioning, the weight room. Gephardt, our strength and conditioning coach, has done an exceptional job. And again, when you look at them, they're bigger and stronger. And obviously, for us moving forward, it's about being durable.
Especially for Keenan, right? He played so
well,
many
especially
minutes.
for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. But Mike Williams is going to put us in a situation where, you know, if he continues to progress, we won't have to play Keenan or rely on Keenan to play the kind of minutes he played last year. So.
How happy is it, or how much of a difference does it make where you've got enough players to now go out there and practice, enough healthy guys, but you're not having to swing the ball at the top of the key for them just to run a little possible pot?
Well, that's an interesting question. I see we're healthy on the perimeter, but we're banged up in the post, obviously, with Aaron not being out and Amrick's being behind schedule a little bit. But one of the advantages we have is Coach Scott is got in great shape, and he's as good as a lot of Division I post guys, so we'll utilize him. And then obviously Adrian McKinney's back here finishing school, so he'll be able to help us in practice, and that will enable Kavar and Jarvis and obviously Chris Washburn, who we're waiting on the appeal process. Those guys have to beat each other up, and they'll still be able to maintain and have a competitive practice. When you take Devontae out of the equation, you put Amrick in a situation where we have to be very patient, and you obviously take Aaron, who's going to be a good practice player for anyway. You take those three out, see we're limited up front in our post. But all that being said, we've been there, done that. It's about guys stepping up and making plays and putting ourselves in situations where we can win games early and often.
You talk a lot about mental toughness, I guess, how you phrase it. How was that in Canada? You know, did that team respond well when, even being young, you know?
Well, you know what?
Teams make good runs that
You know, I talk about mental toughness a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off fast, but mental toughness is doing what you're supposed to do all the time and being consistent at it. That's mental toughness to me. Whether it's socially, whether it's academic, whether it's athletically, it's doing what you're supposed to do all the time. And so, all that being said, the four freshmen were pretty consistent in their behavior, pretty consistent in their approach to practice, pretty consistent in their approach to when things went wrong in the game in terms of staying the course. But it's interesting, you know what, in my experiences over the years, the players or the teams that police themselves and socially and academically and athletically doing the right thing all the time, those teams that overachieve and play at the highest level. So, you know, we're early in that phase. There were some guys on this team last year, as much as I hate to go back to last year, they were good kids, but weren't necessarily mentally tough. And so that's what mental toughness is. It's not physical. We're not talking about physical toughness, because there's a lot of teams we're going to play this year, but physically, we're not going to be able to match up. But there's also a lot of teams that mentally, we can execute mentally. You know, when they come to practice, they don't have to worry about, you know, a class they missed or socially, those kind of things. Then you'll be fine. You can be as good as you can be.
You think this conference is going to be as good as it was last year, top to bottom?
You know, that's a hard question. You know, but I'd be surprised if it's not. Just with the caliber of players that are coming back. You know, so. But you know, those questions, we're putting the cart before the horse, because that's conference play. I mean, I'm more worried about our first exhibition game. I'm more worried about our first scrimmage. I'm more worried about the first day of practice. I mean, you know, conference will take care of itself. I just think if what you look on paper, and that's all you can evaluate it off of, what's on paper. You know, there's a high caliber of players coming back, but also nobody wants to talk about it. But the common fact is,